Welcome to Australia 2025, the land of the $7 flat white, extra for soy drinkers. And there's a kind of divine justice about that in a way. An extra 50 cents for you, soy boy or girl or whatever. Apologies, of course, to the genuinely lactose intolerant. I do feel for you. The point is, none of us should be paying $7 for a flat white. In fact, we actually have to earn $10 to get a coffee because you're paying, remember, out of your post-tax dollars. And with a Labor Greens government, that's going to rise pretty quickly to 11 or even $12 because anyone who is actually working hard and earning money will be taxed even more under their reign. So you'll be paying even more for everyone else's coffees too. What a joy. How long do you reckon it's going to be before the small business people, the healthcare workers, the tradies, the mine workers, even high school teachers, even though 80% of them seem to love left-wing economics and indoctrinating our kids with it, how long before they all just go, I've stuffed this, I've had enough? What are Adam Bandt and Albo and their Labor left and Green mates going to do when there's nobody left to tax? I know many of you will be watching this after the election, so you know more than I do right now about what the next 3 years actually holds. But if we see a Labor government or a minority Labor government with a green or teal balance of power, God forbid, it won't just be tax that's going up. You can expect much, much higher energy costs, especially if the teals hold the balance of power because they're all solar and wind. Someone said to me the other day that after listening to Monique Ryan for 5 minutes that they were all something else in wind, but I digress. Solar and wind isn't going to cut it. Even batteries won't cost effectively deliver baseload power, the power we need to keep the lights and the Wi-Fi on at nighty time. But don't try to ask Melbourne's Queen of the Teals, Monique, any questions.
Just want to know how your campaign's going this morning.
It's going well, thanks, Laura.
Yep.
But I am here to engage with voters. We're at pre-poll. It's the middle of the election
Yeah.
campaign. So I'm not sure that it's really ideal for you to be interrupting the process.
Have you had any other have you had any other thoughts about whether it's okay to pay influencers?
Thanks, Laura.
Sorry, Laura, she's already declined the interview.
Yeah, I know, but we are in public. This is in the interest of transparency, wouldn't have you thought?
She's
No?
already declined the interview. If you could just go back to...
Okay, so we tried.
Sky News Australia's Laura Jays there attempting to actually hold a teal independent accountable last week. Last election, the Teals, who are, they're all independents, of course, they each had a campaign budget of around $1 million, give or take, for each electorate, according to the Australian newspaper. And each electorate got about $700,000 of that million from one major donor organisation, Simon Holmes Accord's Climate 200. $1 million is a huge budget for a political campaign in a single electorate, by the way, much, much more than the major parties spend in most places. But of course, they are complete independents and they are not part of a united central party organisation connected to the renewables industry in any way. I don't mind money in politics, by the way. They're not doing anything illegal. Every Aussie should have the right, in my view, to donate freely to whoever they like. Union members to Labor through their union fees like they do now. Shareholders to whoever they like through the corporations that they hold and all the woke initiatives and DEI and ESG. Individuals donating to political parties, that's fine. Let's just do it. It's the donor's choice, in my view. I just don't like too many rules, and I just don't like the hypocrisy of the Teals and the Greens, especially the Greens, when they say, we don't accept corporate donations, or Teals pretending that they're not firmly connected to one single organisation, whether they're a party or not. Anyway, so we will have higher taxes and higher energy costs, and energy underpins everything. So everything we buy is going to get more expensive. Inflation's going to be across the board. Also, under the Green Labor housing strategy, that supply we don't have enough of housing, supply will be completely murdered. Nobody is going to want to invest or build residential housing under the Labor plan, and especially not under the lunatic Greens plan. And don't expect the Greens to want to speak to the public either. as the member for the Brisbane seat of Ryan, Elizabeth Watson-Brown, demonstrated at a community event where she was there to speak. She was supposed to be taking questions, but apparently not questions from a 25-year-old Conservative like Barclay McGain.
It's a cost of living election, Elizabeth, and you don't want to answer questions about how your policies are going to make it really hard for me to own a home. You already own 3 homes, Elizabeth. The number one issue we discussed was cost of living, and it didn't even get brought up. Elizabeth Watson-Brown said that housing is a human right. She owns 3 houses. 2 of them are investment properties. Yeah.
Both the items delayed with the.
So she won't answer the question?
No, we have to stick to.
Is it impossible to answer, Elizabeth? I mean, you've got a few minutes to answer here.
Greens MP for the Brisbane seat of Ryan, Elizabeth Watson-Brown, not answering pretty basic questions, and she needs an Anglican priest to play blocker for her in the Brisbane electorate of Ryan. I think the Liberals are going to win that one back, frankly. They have a good candidate there in Maggie Forrest, and Jared Rennick's party has also got a candidate named Nicole Delap, who's pretty good. She's there too. So I don't think things are looking too good for Dizzy Lizzy. But the stupidity of the rich boomer green voter crowd knows no bounds. And the granny Greens love a good virtue signal. But it's not only the teals and greens that have been running away from microphones and cameras this election cycle. While Penny Wong only showed her contempt for Australians and her arrogance by appearing on that Batuta podcast and implying that those of us who voted no in the Voice referendum are just silly old buggers who would one day look back and laugh at our silliness, she did at least, you've got to give her credit, make an effort to appear on a long-form podcast. So, but the way the major parties have been ignoring new media this election generally, it's inexcusable, outdated 20th century public relations. If you can't have a real, sincere, deep, long discussion in politics these days, you don't belong in politics these days. The soundbite era is dead. You can't hide behind an overly controlled media strategy anymore. And cameras are everywhere, ready to reveal your hypocrisy at any moment. Everybody has got in their pocket the equivalent of a television camera from the days when I was in television. That's the technology of an iPhone. As Albo discovered himself this week when he brushed off one of his own volunteers at a polling booth.
You kissing me, boss?
Yeah.
My husband,
Yeah, sorry.
You kissing me, boss?
Yeah.
My husband,
Sorry.
Authorised by Ahurst Liberal, Canberra.
Yeah, not good optics, Albo. We don't know the circumstances of that, to be fair. Maybe that lady was being really annoying and had been bugging Albo before that moment. Maybe Albo was just a bit distracted by something else important that he had to get to. Or maybe he is really rude to people who spend hours of their day working to help him get re-elected. We will never know, and we should be critical of everything we see online within reason. But politicians today must be much more camera ready and camera conscious. And there's a little too little accountability these days. What annoys me is when they criticise shows like this for misinformation, yet when we contact a government department or a minister's office these days, instead of treating us like the new media we actually are, with the substantial audiences we actually have, they treat us like a minor irritation and usually just ignore us. Fine, no worries, saves me a lot of time. But don't blame me if your story doesn't get told accurately because you didn't provide the right info. You may have noticed if you've been overseas on holiday recently that you can log into your streaming services like Netflix or Prime in other countries, but the shows they offer are different and sometimes even better. You're paying good money for those subscription services, why can't you watch? Well, with a virtual private network or VPN, you can log in from home here in Australia with an internet address from anywhere in the world, and big corporations and big government can't see where you are. Now, to be clear, criminals can still be actively found with police warrants, of course, but the average honest citizen will have their location protected from prying eyes of corporate marketers and government bureaucrats. If you sign up now with private internet access, we think they are the best VPN service out there. That's private internet access. As a viewer of The Other Side, you can get 83% off the price of your subscription and get online for less than $3 a month. Check it out right now. Go to piavpn.com/otherside. That's piavpn.com/otherside. facebook.com/otherside. It's a great service and a rock bottom price, and you're helping keep the other side going and growing. That was a segment from a recent episode of our fortnightly news commentary show, The Other Side, with me, Damien Curry. If you liked it, support us. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube right now so you don't miss a thing. It's totally free. Just click that subscribe button and the little bell. And check out our Other Side Unplugged show too, and join our mission to actually do something and change Aussie media for the better at othersidetv.com.au. That's othersidetv.com.au. Check it out now.